All right, here we go. We are live. We're doing the multi-stream. I wasn't able to get on it too. I was taking care of some very, very important business. Yeah, it was actually kind of a good day, but I felt kind of bad because I couldn't make the live today at 2 p.m. So luckily, Narc Talks filled in for me, and she gave some really, really great and helpful information to help people get over this. This trauma bond thing is kind of crazy. If you see me looking over, it's because I'm actually running this on two other networks at the same time. Yeah, so we're actually I'm going to call this one the clarity guide, okay? Because I think that's what most survivors need, clarity. I think last week we talked a lot happening inside the dynamic that you find yourself trapped in. Thank you for joining, Lucas. You know, the dynamic that you feel that you can't get out of, you can't escape. And this is done on purpose, okay? We are looking at a class A as far as empaths are concerned, what predator, you know, what do you call it? A tier predator. I don't know what it is, but you know, it's crazy because they do all this stuff on purpose, and we have to remember they have had decades of training. I'm figuring that most of the people that come into these groups are over the age of 30. But yeah, the narcissist has had, oh my goodness, we're talking about years upon years of practice to where they are quite comfortable with the deception, with the lies, with the playing in your face, with actually pushing your buttons. They've gotten quite good at it. You know, I don't know. I think I talked about this the last live. It's like you look at these MMA people. I think a creator actually challenged one of them, an award-winning one too. Um, you look at these MMA fighters, and there's always somebody that wakes up in the middle of the night and says, "You know what? I can beat them. I know I can take them." Now, mind you, the person that woke up with this idea probably has no training whatsoever, does not train regularly, in comparison to the MMA fighter who just wakes up like, I've got to train. I've got to get this down. I've got to actually, hey, what's up, JoJo? You know, I've got to get this down pat. I'm going to beat this guy. Well, you put this person up against this MMA fighter who trains every day, has been training for the last few decades. What do you think that person's chances are of beating them? Slim to none. They're probably going to walk out bruised and battered. And this is what happens when we look at the narcissistic dynamic. We as the empaths, we come along and we're like, yeah, you know, okay, I can handle this. You know, I'm going to be different than the person before me. In fact, that's what we say. You know, once we get trapped up with the narcissist, we listen to their victim stories. And even though the alarms are going off in our head, hey, what's up, militia? You know, once the alarms start going off in our head, we start like, I'm going to be different. I'm not going to go through that. I'm different than their last person was that they destroyed, basically. You know, I'm not that person. I'm better than them. And this is what we think. And again, I look at that MMA fighter. You've actually entered the ring with a psychologically advanced MMA type fighter. And they're going to leave you crushed. Because throughout that relationship, throughout that time that you are caught up in this issue, as I like to call it, you're constantly pouring hope in. You are hoping that you can change this person. You're hoping that you can get the version of the person that you saw in the beginning back. It's a whole lot of hope. And that hope is doing you no freaking good. It's not. You know, I think many people, they get kind of upset at me. I lose followers sometimes after these lives because nobody really wants to hear that. Everybody wants to think that their pet narcissist, or as I like to call them, their pet demon, they can cure them. They can make them into a better person. And this is essentially part of the trap. Last week, we talked about why love bombing is so essential to what the narcissist does. This lays the groundwork. This gives them time to plan out how they are going to destroy you. Okay, this is it. The love bombing is done intentionally. It's done on purpose. It's not because they think that you're a good person and then everything changes. No, this is done on purpose. Okay, because they need to gather information about you. Remember, we're looking at a apex predator when it comes to empaths. Okay, they have to collect information about you. They have to figure out what's your high points, what's your low points, what are the things that you treasure, and basically your loyalty level. They need all of this baked in, and the reason why they need this baked in is because they're going to use it and weaponize it against you at a later date. If you've entered the devalue stage, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Never in your life have you had so much that you shared in confidence thrown at you like a high performance missile. And you can't deny this. So you have to, at some point, look at the whole situation. Again, I'm never here to break up people's relationships. That is not what I'm trying to do. Narcissistic, what's up? I'm not here to break up people's relationships. That's not what I do. And I don't want to do that. But I want you to understand that what you have experienced, what you are experiencing is real. This is not a video game. This is not Grand Theft Narcissist. This is life. And you feel the way that you do. You feel the way that you do because you know it's real. And yeah, the narcissist is going to deny it and tell you that you are being over emotional, you're being sensitive, you're being this, you're being that, because who does that serve? Who does that serve? Does it serve the apex predator or does it serve you? Oh, look at you. You can come on up here. You're always welcome up in here. It doesn't. See, when you deny your reality, who do you think you're essentially hurting? Hey, what's up, narcissistic? Who do you think you're hurting when you deny what you know is real? Nobody's going to walk over to a stove, put their hand over the flame, or if you got the electric ones, I hate those because you never know if they're still hot or not. You're going to put your hand over it and you're just going to say over and over, this is not real, this is not happening. Within, I'd say 60 seconds, if not sooner, somebody's going to need to call an ambulance for you. You're probably going to have to go to a burn unit because it's real. It freaking happened. No matter how much you don't want it to be real, it happened. And that's the first step. Realizing that, okay, I'm not imagining this. This person is treating me this way. No qualms about that. We see it. This person is lying to me. This person is trying to manipulate my reality. Yeah, it's happening. It is definitely happening. And who is the one that's denying that it's happening? It's not them because they know exactly what they're doing to you. Thank you so much for the likes. And thank you guys for joining. Again, I apologize. I couldn't make the 2 p.m. I had to take care of some really cool personal business. But luckily, Nog Talks jumped in and she gave some really great information. I'm hoping she can join us tonight. She gave some really great information. And the reason why I say it's great information, I love what she does with the Somatic Saturdays. But one of the reasons why I think it's great information is because the Now Movement, that's what I run in the Church of Real Talk, no other way but forward, okay, as far as narcissistic abuse and surviving trauma, I'm moving the Now Movement into being action focused. Now, there's a reason for that because, see, action, we can talk, as my grandparents would say, we can talk about the problem till the cows come home. It's still not going to fix the problem. So what I'm doing is, and Narc Talks is really great about this, and I'm waiting for Narcastic to get into the swing of things. What I'm doing with this is I'm trying to find resources, not just what I do, but what other people do, to help other people think that there is hope. Because when you come out of this, you don't think that there's any hope. You think you're stuck with this, be it the shame, be it the guilt, be it nobody listens to you, nobody understands. So we have to become more action-based. And I think Somatic Saturdays is very action-based. It's something that you can actually do every time that she does this stuff. Um, I just want to, I feel warm and fuzzy. I just want to take a nap or something, because my nervous system feels even more stabilized. Now, your nervous system, narcissistic abuse is not the only thing that affects your nervous system. Okay, many things do. Okay, it's not just narcissistic abuse. Okay, stress at the job, stress with financial matters, stress with the family. Sometimes that's narcissistic abuse, but stress in general can actually send our nervous system into a tizzy. So we need real tools. If you can use this, okay, what she does with Somatic Saturdays, if you can use this to relieve some of your stress, but more importantly, if you're in a narcissistic dynamic, it will help you understand. Because I'm going to be honest with you, you have spent so much time denying what you're actually going through. I think I have a quiz here. I'm just like playing around with TikTok these days. It is like so much fun. And thank you, I'm Lucky William Self Jr. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate that. Where is it at? Polls and quick poll. I don't know which one it is. And it's telling me to start a poll, even though I created a poll before I started. Give me a second. I'm trying to figure this out, okay? You see, I'm old. Okay, let's see. Stickers, music, no. And she can play music on hers. Hey, what's up, Money? How you doing? Thank you for joining. Hold on. Poll. Okay, get vote custom. Okay, and it won't show me what the hell I freaking created. Okay, let me just put up my stuff that I do. Okay, so I'll figure that out next time. I promise I will have it figured out by the next time I do a live. But yeah, we have to look at it. So let's look at some facts. I tend to bring facts to the table. I think facts will actually help people understand what is going on. Trauma bonding activates reward pathways similar to addiction. We've gone over this a lot, and it's true. Okay, they're better than your favorite slot machine at your local casino. Okay, cognitive dissonance can mirror cult conditioning. A lot of the things, I think Narcastic brought it up, and I'm going to let you get on in a second. I think you brought it up where there was a study done. And this person actually lined up the playbook for narcissistic abuse. And I think government agencies use it. And I'll let her speak on that. But over 60% of survivors return multiple times before completely detaching. That within itself is a very scary thought. Multiple times. I think the average that people return to an abusive relationship, any abusive relationship, they attempt 7 times. Okay, and this is researched. Okay, they just can't let go. And you will find no matter what the abuse is, it all falls under one thing, one word. Okay, whether it's physical abuse or whether it's mental abuse, it's control. It's control of the victim. And Fred, thank you, Fred Hill. Yeah, it is real talk. It is real talk. Thank you. And thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So when you look at those facts, because that's what they are, they're not false. You know, trauma bonding, the cognitive dissonance, and the inability to leave. See, that's what keeps people trapped. And thank you, Narcastic. I'm gonna let you come up and speak because I get to run in my mouth. I do. I know I do. So go ahead, unmute your mic. Come on up. Come on up.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing this evening?
I'm doing so good, thank you.
Okay.
I think most GOV systems, I don't even want to say the word, are narcissistic in nature. Back to the subject you were just talking about. And yeah, like the CIA and the FBI and all these other things. I met somebody in person who did what do you call it? The torture for people to get information out of them and everything. And a lot of it is psychological, not just physical. But yeah, it's scary, the effect that it has on the mind and the body. And why would we want to go back 7 times? And it makes no sense. Why am I thinking about this person, and why do I want to talk to them today? You know, after they've messed you up and completely wrecked your entire nervous system. It just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't, but again, I always say you really can't blame yourself, because as an empath, you're basically doing what you built your whole life to do, to see the good in people. We are like the poster children for giving people second chances. I mean, just look at your regular life. How many people?
And we love genuinely.
Yes.
So that's it. Our feelings were real. Yeah. That's why we want to talk to them. Yeah. Because we genuinely love them.
But that doesn't mean that you have to go back. And let me highlight this point. I need to make this clear. Because you have love for someone does not mean that you have to go back to them. You can actually start pouring back into yourself. I did, and this is like so cool. I was like geeking out all day. I did a podcast interview with Dr. Jamie Hughes, really cool guy. And he asked, I forgot I did the freaking interview. Honestly, I did. I've been doing so much. And I'm like going on YT, and I'm looking, and I was like, who the hell is that? And who's sitting next to me? And then it hit me. And he entitled Empaths versus Narcissists. And as usual, I tend to lean towards that this is an empath problem. The narcissist kind of leaves people alone that are not going to love and care and try to hold on to a false reality. It doesn't serve them. Again, we're looking at an apex predator. Okay? A cheetah is not going to chase something that it knows for a fact runs faster than it can. It's not. It's going to save that energy. The narcissist does the same thing. Again, we've got to start looking at this for what it is. We as empaths are being preyed upon by the narcissist. Don't get it twisted. We are literally being, and Brandon Rodriguez says, I need help. Well, you know what? I'm gonna pin this thing back up. There's free resources. There's resources where I can jump in and do one-on-ones. That's completely up to you. Find out, start with the free stuff. See if the free stuff helps you. If you want more, I'm definitely available to do that. Yeah, because my goal is to help. And another thing that I notice is, and I'm just going to be honest here, we can ask as many questions as we want. We can go into deep discussions. We can dissect this to its bare minimum. But I'm not one of those creators. I don't have the time, first of all, to go live for 4 to 6 hours. I don't. And I have nothing against them. I'm not trying to throw darts, but I can't do that. And very rarely, thank you for following me, Brandon. I appreciate you. I know people don't understand. I know they don't. But nothing against those creators. But I'm action oriented in this phase of the now movement. So there's a lot of stuff I have to do. I've got a website I've got to maintain. I've got coaching sessions. I'm always creating new content to help survivors get through this. Because as Brandon said, most people don't understand. In fact, I have to get the research on this, but the reason why after you leave a narcissistic dynamic, you feel so alone is because people that haven't gone through this, people that haven't dealt with a narcissist, they're not going to understand. They're not. Because this is something, and it's funny because I watched the whole video. It wasn't ego, but I just wanted to see what I said, and if I got my facts straight, because that I filmed that like months ago. And I'm looking at the fact that this is a real problem for empaths. Okay, we are the number one food supply. We are like top shelf. Okay, we are like the 5-star restaurant for the narcissist. And you can't deny that. As many, thank you,
You're only
Melissa.
as stuck as you want to be.
Right.
Seriously, Brandon, this is your choice.
Yeah.
You have to choose you first.
Yep. And I know it's hard. Dude, I am not going to lighten this up for you. I know it's hard. I know it's hard. But I used to do this thing in my community. This is what spearheaded the Now movement, Healing Through Peaceful Choices. It's based on the fact that people in abusive relationships, there's one thing that runs true. But I love them. But I would have done anything for them. All I wanted to do was help them. This is a common theme. I'm not saying take that away, because again, you did what most rational human beings would do in a relationship. And there's nothing wrong with that. But you have to let go of what's hurting you. Okay? See, the love isn't hurting you. Love is the purest, most magical word in this reality. We seek it out. From the age of being children, we want love. Basically, a child's whole life is love and be loved. So you did nothing wrong. Don't strip that away from yourself. But loving this person was hurting you. So take that love, recycle it back into yourself, and detach from this person. See, love, a relationship, a meaningful, fulfilling relationship should not be about sacrificing yourself. You should never have to sacrifice. I know there's a give and take in a relationship. You didn't grow up in the same household, hopefully, and that means that you don't agree on all things. I get that. There are going to be.
We're always the ones giving, though. That's
right.
The thing. We give and give, and they take and take until you're so drained of energy, you have nothing left to give into your own life, and that's part of the wearing down process.
Right.
That they do to you. They build you up to slowly chip away at you.
Right.
Some more maliciously than others.
Yes.
And so you have to. It's a hard decision. I feel bad for Brandon because he feels trapped in the situation.
Right.
But
haven't we all?
It's all comes from within you. You are the only one that is stopping you from your own freedom, from the prison that you're in, because you're in a glass prison right now.
Yep. There again, there's nothing wrong with you being a loving individual. Nothing wrong with that. I'm never going to take that away from you. But if a person is hurting you, if this person is saying I love you, and it's usually after they hurt you, that's an unsafe place. That's an unsafe environment. You don't belong there. And like I said, I'm not here to mess up anybody's relationship. Do the research. Get a couple of free resources. Go online. Watch the greats, Dr. Ramani, my favorite, Carl Jung. There are so many people that are now talking about this subject. And they got the alphabet soup after their name. So you don't have to believe me. But I'm going to tell you, I understand, because it took me a long time to pull myself out of that self-pity, wallowing, pity parade mindset. Because like everybody else, I couldn't talk to nobody. Nobody got it. If I ran into a flying monkey or someone that they actually ran the smear campaign on, oh, I can't believe that. She never struck me as that type of person. They protect their mask. Again, we're looking at an apex predator, okay? And we are their prey. Because the narcissist knows, as soon as they talk to you for 5 to 10 minutes, they know. Oh, this person cares. This person is going to be loyal. This person is going to look past all the evil ish that I do to them, and they're going to keep on trying. So they string it on for years, sometimes decades. Do you know how many people I talk to that have been stuck in a narcissistic dynamic, and they say things, and it even hurts me as an empath, like, I'm glad they're gone. Now I can get my life back. As an empath, that still hurts me. I don't want anybody to ever, leave this plane of existence, no matter how evil they are. I figure everybody should get the maximum time span. I don't wish that on my narc. I've had 3 of them. I don't wish it on any of them. I don't. But at the same time, it's like I have to care about myself. I can't focus on them. Okay, because that's how they get you trapped. They keep you so confused. So all you're doing is focusing on them. And you're not focusing on the pain that you're going through. You're going through pain. Literally pain. Your health is going. Okay, your mental facilities are going. Okay, and you're looking over lovingly at this person saying, how am I going to get you back to the person that I met in the beginning, the person that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with? I was on another creator's live. Go ahead, Narcissist.
I just want, a friend of mine has been trapped in a narcissistic marriage for 25 years, and she's younger than I am, and she's walking with a cane in her early 40s. You guys have to understand what they are doing to your health, your mind, your body, physically, autoimmune diseases, the C word, all of this stems from they're bringing this illness in you, they're the cause of it. They're the root cause.
Yeah.
And your unwellness.
Yes. Because it's our nervous system and our body. I mean, once you break down your nervous system, everything starts falling apart. I mean, look at it from a scientific, a medical point of view. And I put down, I think, a rough poll. Do you think a narcissist can change? Okay, it's a little thing where you just put the happy face.
Okay, so the happy face is what answer?
Well, that's what I'm about to say. The happy face is if you think they can change, and the sad face is if you don't think that they can change. I think that's an important question because a lot of people thank you for that. A lot of people think that there's hope. I had that. There's hope. They can change. If I study this enough, if I find the right mental health professional, if I find someone who studied this their whole life, maybe they can prescribe them with something. I mean, hell, we got through that thing in 2019. So yeah, we can get through this.
I also think it's part of the denial stage that we go through, thinking that we can fix them or that they can change. And I remember towards the end of my relationship, I was like, if he could only just admit to me that he's narcissistic, I have hope that, there's no.
It's not going to happen. and we realize it. You know what? You know when we realize it? After the discard and we got to pick up the pieces. That's when most of us realize it, after the discard.
Yeah, because they literally drop you like a hot potato. Like you were nothing to them.
Yeah.
And I don't have words for the way it makes me feel. It made me feel.
Yeah.
Worthless.
It's crazy because here you are spending years with this person. You poured in most of your life into this freaking person, and what? They move on as if you never shared a meal together, much less, been on the same street, and you sleep next to this person. But they just...
Is that part of their own disassociation, like their own dissociative state, that they can just compartmentalize you, throw you in a box, lock it up, and just go on to the next person?
Well, it protects their mask. That they get to a moment where they know that they lost someone good. Again, the narcissist knows everything that they're doing. So if you're an empath, if you're main supply, they know that they lost someone good. However, as soon as that thought crosses the threshold of their little mind, they start making up a backstory, and they start making it that person's fault. So it's cognitive as far as what they're doing, but they do it to protect the mass, because for them to say that they were at fault for the ruination of that relationship, what would they have to admit to?
Yeah, that's true. And I also think it's a way that they protect their inner shame from flaring up as well, because they don't want to feel bad about anything. They already feel bad enough about themselves inside.
Right.
Well, so they sell themselves and everybody else in their lives a different story about what happened. Right. They make up a completely different story about what happened, and I think they truly believe it.
They truly do believe it.
He thinks he was my hero. He bettered my life. Right. He made my health better, my everything better. Mm-hmm. That's what he tells everyone, and he thinks he's God's gift to anybody that comes into his life.
Right. Right. And this is, and I think when I say mask, because I understand what I'm saying, but the mask, the purpose it serves is to keep that shame down. You have to remember, NPD is a shame-based disorder. It's not based on you got bit by something in the woods. It's not based on, like your thyroid is like flaring up. It's not based on that. There's nothing physical based on it. It's based on shame. And Keola, and thank you for joining. Why do they go back and cheat on you with the ex when she knows his patterns and she entertained them? Sometimes what you'll find is, and a lot of people find this after the discard, you may actually know the new supply. There's different levels to supply. There's the empath, grade A, top grade, top notch, USDA stamp on the side. Okay, and then there's basically there's basically what I call intermittent supply. Intermittent supply is just, they're like insatiable beings. So intermittent supply is just someone who can validate them, someone who can make them feel special, someone that can put a roof over their head. That's intermittent supply. They don't plan on keeping this person. This person just serves a need, an immediate need, until they can find another empath. Okay. Now, part 2 of it, and I'm going to get this. He's got you on the back burner as well. They always come back. Well, yeah, and you can stop them from coming back. Really, you cause enough of a narcissistic injury, they will leave you alone. You will become basically that fruit that they don't want to touch. And it's
I sure hope that's true. If that's true, then he'll never reach out to me again.
Yeah, just build yourself up.
Yeah, I delivered something worse than a narcissistic injury. The next step from that is called narcissistic mortification.
Right.
And I believe that's the kind of blow I dealt mine. And that's what I knew I had to do in order to get away.
Right.
So you're going to do what you have to do once you finally had enough.
Right. I think that instead of, and I'm glad that you was actually able to do that mortification thing. I don't really care. I don't care if they're sitting in the graveyard waiting for a coffin to open. I really don't care. But what happens is, I think the easiest way to, if you're still in that revenge state of mind, is make yourself into the best possible version of yourself. This, because they're watching you at all times. They are watching you at all freaking times. Okay? So they're gauging to see, well, are they getting their life back together? Did they get back on their feet? Are they getting back to? Are they getting financial? Are they getting back on it? Because narcissists will drain all your money. Are they getting back financially? They're watching this, not just through their flying monkeys. Sometimes they just set up a fake account, do it on their own. Okay, so the less attention that you give the narcissist, again, that supply, any emotional reaction, and the more you focus on yourself, you get to strike that blow without even trying. See, the better off that you become after their abuse, after what they did to you, after they hurt you, the more you build yourself up into the person that you probably was before you met them, that just shakes them, because now they can't compute. This person was supposed to be destroyed. I was supposed to have crushed this person. This person should still be thinking about me. Error. That's what they're doing. So as Narcissist said, that's kind of their mortification. It's like, everything comes to a halt, and then they become more crazier with their tactics, their techniques, because now they just become part of the block. It's like, I got to get supply because this person just hurt me deeply. They weren't supposed to have that power. Remember, they think they're superior to everyone else. So focusing on yourself is actually the best way possible to get that, as the kids say, that look back. This is not classic crazy. I love the robotics. Chloe says I had a stroke and all he would do is drain me and make it worse. They again, this is part of the reason why I began to let go. Okay, is because I really noticed they really don't care about anybody but themselves.
Yeah, it's like it takes you getting sick or something catastrophic happening to you for you to realize they don't care.
Yes.
They, like, heaven forbid you need to have a major surgery and they would be stuck being your caretaker. No.
Yeah. You know, and you have to remember, this is the person that you said that you wanted to spend your life with. You thought you found the one. And, you know, near the end, I soon came to realize very quickly, I don't want this person around me if I go completely blind. If I lose the eye, this is the last person I want around me. You know, I could just see myself sitting in the corner with diapers as they went out to have a good time. You know, so you have to, again, this is where you have to accept what you're experiencing is real. It makes it easier to detach. See, you're kind of gaslighting yourself. Damn. Yeah, I see that happening. You're kind of gaslighting yourself by actually saying that this person is going to change. They're not. They're not. They didn't change for the last person, and they're definitely not going to change for the next person. Again, this has been a process for decades. They have literally become the apex predator against, they practice this every day from a young age. Oh, it's easy to manipulate people. That plays on their superiority. You know, oh,
I think each relationship they go through, they learn and adapt and get better at it every time.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's why it was so easy I didn't know what a narcissist was. Like I said, I've been through 3 of these total. I think the first and the second one, it wasn't that hard for me because I was younger. You know, so I don't think that they were fully into their game. I think I was a test subject, kind of. You know, what works, what doesn't work. But I'm quite sure if they're still around. Again, you know, I don't keep in contact with these people. I don't care what you're doing with your life. If they're still around, I'm quite sure they've mastered their art, you know, because it's been decades, you know, since the first two. The last one, you know, I'm not really too worried about either. But the last one is what made me open my eyes. Again, like Nartastic said, came to a point, I lost vision in this eye. Doctor said, you got to take care of this eye. You know, hey, listen, that's it. You're done, son. And I started noticing the whole uncaring. There's a person that I said I was going to spend my life with, and they made it very clear. Not my problem. Outsourced it a couple of times. Maybe you need to go see a therapist. You know, and you know, that made me think. I was like, well, what if I did wake up one morning and I lose vision? Is this the person that I want next to me? Is this the person that I want taking care of stuff for me? No. You know, and that came, what they call that, radical acceptance. You know, they're not going to change, so I need to change what I'm doing. You know. Very good, Chloe. Yeah, Chloe says I was losing my hair, my health, my mental. But yeah, I mean, you can jump in because, like I said, I talk too much. But yeah, you can jump in. Go ahead, Narcissistic.
I sympathize with Chloe a great deal. I know exactly what it feels like. I don't know how long she's been out of the relationship, but I'm super proud of you for finally being sick and tired enough. You know, you have to get sick and tired of being sick and tired in order to set yourself free. And you have to just learn the rules of the game. And ultimately, what I had to do was outmaneuver this person. That was the only way that I was going to gain my freedom. It's almost like your insides and like your higher power is guiding you on what steps you need to take.
Yes.
Once you decide that you're choosing yourself and you're like, I am not doing this, like, please help me get out of this situation. Show me what I need to do. Show me the truth about this person. What are they hiding from me? And when that starts unraveling, once you ask for the truth, it starts getting thrown at you, and you will just be like flabbergasted the things that you learn. And then once you're out of the relationship, and once your nervous system calms down after 8 weeks or whatever time it takes for you to, then the pieces of the puzzle start clicking together, and you start seeing other things, and you're just like, oh my gosh, like, it's amazing.
Coming out the fog is blinding.
Yes, once you're coming out of the fog.
Oh, thank you, Lady Lee 25.
There's no better feeling than that. Absolutely. And you won't turn back. I mean, there's going to be days where you're going to be like, oh, I miss him. Oh, I want to talk to him. But that's still their little tentacles, like trying to reach out and jab at you energetically. And you got to just zap those, and be like, nope, sorry.
Yep. Chloe, I'm going to suggest that there are women's groups out there. They usually deal with DV. But believe it or not, under most charters, they actually handle emotional abuse as well. I will reach out to them and see what your options are. I'm not a lawyer, but in your state, they might be able to give you some insights or some advice on how to move forward. But the thing is to choose to move forward. And I'm going to tell you something. You said 3 days, and they've probably been gone. The roller coaster just started, and I'm not trying to say that to scare you, okay? The abuse didn't take place over 3 days. It probably took place a long time. And your body remembers, and there comes a point where peace becomes hard to deal with. All of our life we're told to go ahead and find peace and actually take it easy, calm down, do yoga, come down to Somatic Saturdays if you want to, do stuff like that. But peace becomes deafening because you've been living in chaos for so long. I know for me it was. I didn't know what to do with myself. Go ahead, Narcissistic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the first few days, you think everything's fine, but I mean, I don't even think the withdrawal or anything had started by that point, and you're going to go through a crash from like the lack of dopamine hits and everything else, because they play on the same neural pathways as any addictive substance. We're talking like hard substances, the worst you can think of. So you're going to start feeling really bad, but just hang through that, like fight through it, and find other things to do to occupy your time. I kind of looked like I had ADHD for the first few weeks. I was just around my house, like on my.
I got it by nature, but yeah, go ahead.
I'm just like, what am I doing on my day off? I'm like, what am I even doing upstairs? Why did I come up here? Wait, I was cleaning that. I was doing like 10 things at once for weeks because I could not function like a normal person. But I didn't realize what was happening. I had to learn about all of this stuff, but it's completely normal. Your nervous system is in disarray. You're afraid. You're tore up, and it's going to take time to heal. But
it is.
She's enjoying the peace of not having his presence right now. That's what she's enjoying.
That's what it is. Because I slept like a baby for like the first 4 or 5 days. I had still some stress going on in my life, but I slept, and it was strange because that's why I said it. I'm not trying to scare you. Then it re-triggers itself. It's like your nervous system's like, yo, dude, I don't like this atmosphere. I don't like where we're at. I don't like what you're doing. And then I wake up in cold sweats dreaming about this person, and not the good dreams either. It's, just the horror dreams, the person chasing me, stuff like that. Because as you start to heal, you have to go through. I think maybe I did it wrong. Maybe I should have just sat down, reflected, and learned what made me stay in that relationship for so long, even though I knew that I shouldn't have. So yeah, I found that this was how the Now movement was built, through those periods of hypervigilance where I realized I was like, okay, I got to do something, or I'm going to keep on thinking about this person. There was literally a time where my phone would be like across the room, and I would just hear it vibrate, and there was a little piece of me that says, "Oh, they finally realized what they did wrong, and they're calling me back." And that's a scary feeling, especially back to the top of the ranch. What you experienced was real, So this is why I do this. This is why I offer, different things to help people, And like I said, a lot of the stuff is free. I spent the first 3 months of building the Now movement, just finding books I put up on Amazon that fit the niche, and it was like, okay, let me turn this into an audio book and make it free. It's going to help somebody. That's always the goal, is to help somebody. That is the empath's way. Okay, as an empath, you'll find yourself throughout life. You have been the quicker fixer-upper. You've been the one that's been there for family. You've been the one that's been there for friends. You've been there for complete strangers, because that's built into your DNA. But that also makes you a target for the narcissist. Okay, 6% of the total population of the world are considered to be narcissists, and that number is super low because most narcissists don't feel that there's anything wrong with them, so they never go get diagnosed. The Lee Hammonds and the Batwolfs are far and few between, as far as narcissistic diagnoses go. But that 6%, now there are more empaths. Of course, the world would probably fall apart if there wasn't so many empaths. But they say 30% of the world actually holds that tag, empath. Okay, as I like to call the chosen, because we go around, we fix stuff. But imagine how many empaths a narcissist can destroy in their lifetime. Think about that. This is why this.
And think about this, like with your love of the movie The Matrix, how this system is training up narcissism and narcissists. Right. Just the way it's being constructed and built, and AI is narcissistic in nature. Social media breeds and feeds narcissism. So I think that number is going to be inaccurate going forward.
Yeah, going forward, I think because the world we've reached that stage, and I'm not trying to get spiritual here, but I think we've reached that stage where, people that have narcissistic tendencies are being lauded. They're being treated as if they're special. You have the narcissists that go out there and they start businesses. We know one. That goes out there and starts businesses and then takes high political office, and it's like, dude, you hit all 9 traits. I just watched one news broadcast, and you hit all 9 traits of the criterion for the DSM-5. It's kind of celebrated. And then again, we have the survivors. This is how it gets pushed under the table, is because if you're a male that's been affected by a female narcissist, you're told, get over it. Oh, well, hey, listen, put on your underwear, put on your big boy underwear and go find somebody else. No, the pain was real. It's not that simple. And then you have women, it's like, oh, you always pick the wrong ones, or you should have saw this coming, or this, that, and the other. It's like, no, it's not about that. This person from day one played psychological mind games with me. So no, it's not that simple. Do you tell a POW when he comes home, like, get over it? So what? They treated you like that the whole time and played psychological mind games with it.
And blew you to bits.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's kind of, it's society's kind of sick right now, and that's why I do what I do, because it's going to keep on getting sicker unless we get more empaths out there, meaning the people that care, the people that love, the people that actually want to see change. And not just for myself. You can go back 10 years to videos that I put up. I always do it for my kids. That's it. Because I know my days are numbered. I don't want my kids to grow up in a society where everything is wrong, where people just get hurt for no reason. And here's another thing that I put, why you still want them, which I think answers a couple of you guys' questions. So emotional withdrawal mimics drug withdrawal, and it does. Oh yes, I had those those pit of the stomachs, and I would eat one thing and used to eating it, but it upset my stomach, so now I'm running back and forth. It seemed like I catching cold, runny nose, all that stuff that usually people that are trying to, as they say, kick the habit, they go through. You go through the same thing. You do. It's going to happen. Maybe not at the scale as like something that's opioid or something, but it hurts. It hurts you physically. Now, because it says restlessness, panic, exhausted, brain fog. Yeah, I hated the brain fog. Intrusive thoughts and emotional cravings are common. Yes. Just when you think you got it all together, you're going to think about them. You are. And sometimes they trigger that. They're going to sit up there and text you because it's almost like they can sense it that you're getting your act back together. They're going, oh, I was just thinking about you. Oh, how have you been? Oh, X and X asked about you. Oh, I dialed your number by mistake. They're going to actually find a way. And it's always as soon as you think you've got it all together. It's kind of akin to, the opioid thing. And you're just going to the store and the guy that used to give you the opioids is just walking down the block saying, hey, I miss you. So here we go. Hey, how have you been? Oh, no. I'm not trying to give you anything. Just let's talk for a minute. Now your brain is having this internal battle, and that's what the narcissist does. Just when you think you're clear.
They try to hit you up when they see that you're doing really well, or they try to hit you up at a vulnerable state of mind. They see, and what my mistake was with my social media on my personal pages was I was just putting it all out there all the time. What I was doing, how I was feeling, what I was thinking spiritually, this and that. I'm having a vulnerable moment. This happened today. Oh my gosh, boom. And they just drop the bomb on you. Oh, this is the perfect time for me to hit her up. Yeah. And they're watching you. Yeah. They're watching you. Yeah. Somehow, even if you've blocked them, their family, their friends, they're still watching you.
And it was different for me because see, I came to the realization I'm not going to hide. Okay, I'm project driven, so I've had a photography business for years. Don't take pictures now. I think I got published the first time in 2008, so I'm not going to hide myself. I'm not going to go look at what you're doing, but I'm not going to hide myself. Again, we look at what we came to the table with, which was our past life before we met the narcissist. Like I said, most of you guys were doing something great, awesome. Life probably wasn't perfect, but you didn't have the problems that you ended up with when you met the narcissist. Okay? There's nobody that can tell me, oh, I escaped a narcissistic relationship and my life is so much better. We're the ones that end up in therapy. We're the ones that have to take mood enhancement drugs to actually, prescribe the course, from physicians. We have to take stuff that's going to calm us down. It's a lot to deal with. It really is a lot to deal with. I think I got somebody, I have no clue what this is, but I'm going to bring them on. Hey, how you doing? It's not showing your name. Okay, good. So, yeah, you have to... You have to take that into account. Again, like I tell people, this didn't happen overnight. Okay, and thank you for watching, Dina Mina. That's fine. You're all good. You're all good. I appreciate you being here. It didn't happen overnight. It didn't. And you've got to give yourself grace. But on the same hand, you can't give yourself too much grace. Okay, because the longer you stay in it, the worse off you're going to be. You've got to make a choice. I'm going to vote nowish. Okay? I'm going to vote that you make that choice now. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That's beautiful. Thank you. Finger hearts are so beautiful. But yeah, so you have to, I always vote nowish because at the end of the day, being action driven right now for the Now movement, I can't just sit up there and say, oh, you know what? just deal with it a little bit longer. When you're ready, you'll come around. No, maybe you need to push yourself. Maybe you need to push yourself into becoming and thank you, as far as TikTok for joining. Maybe you need to push yourself into becoming the best version of yourself. I mean, and what the hell is wrong with that? What is wrong with becoming the best version of yourself? Something the narcissist never wanted for you. Because if you was the best version of yourself, that means that other people will look at you, which means that the spotlight would dim a little bit. Think about that. There's a person that you're holding on to. Come on, how many of you, if you've been in it longer than a year, you don't feel the hate? You don't feel like when you get a win, all of a sudden they get cold and distant or start throwing darts? You don't feel it? You're not imagining it. It's part of their disorder. They are jealous of everyone around them. And then on top of that, they feel entitled. So your win is a direct threat to them. So they're always going to downplay it. They're always. I don't know if it's you, narcissistic, and if I'm wrong for sharing this, I apologize. Was it you that said that they tried to get a job where you were working at, or was that somebody else?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Go ahead.
He's a CDL truck driver, works on kind of construction and different things. And when he and I got together, I couldn't figure this out until later. He was trying to get a job where I work. And that was part of, this is the best job I've ever had in my life, and he knows it. We're talking. Yeah, he was trying, and I did. He was trying to get a job there to take me down, dude. And I was like, I didn't realize it until later. And I was like, thank God my manager did not hire him. Yeah. Because they clearly had the discernment I was lacking and blinded by my feelings for this person to not realize they had ill intent towards me.
Yep, and we never see it until it's too late. And that's the scary part. That's what I'm saying. You have to make a decision. Narcissistic just put up saying back then, Dr. Romani, just put in NPD awareness, on whatever search, whatever platform that you're on. You've got to make this decision quickly, because I'm going to tell you a secret. The narcissist is not going to stop. And once they figure out that it's going to hit the fan. It's going to hit the fan. Like I said, I served in the Navy. Boot camp is usually rough in the Navy, but I'm going to tell you something. Near the end, when I think they figured out that I knew what they were, I have never been devalued, and so many curse words chained together to let me know how much I wasn't worth anything put together. So the longer you stay, it doesn't get better. No matter how much you hope it's going to get better, no matter how much you think it's going to get better, it's not going to get better. There's going to be one or two things that's going to happen, because they follow the same pattern. It's crazy. It's almost insane. It boggles the imagination. Okay? Here's what they do. They love bomb you. Phase 1, data collection. Okay? They need to know what makes you tick, what you love, what you hate, what you're scared of, what your greatest goals are. They want to know all of that stuff. Yes, weaknesses. Okay? Because that's what they're going to use it as. Okay? And you're going to share it with them. Nobody ever noticed during the initial love bombing, the initial data mining, that you really know nothing about the narcissist. Think about it. How much do you know about them now? Except the victim stories. What do you really know? Except that they were a victim. And they were either the victim or the hero. And if they're the victim, it was always somebody else's fault. The next thing is, once they know that they have you hooked in the love bombing stage, that's the part where the little part of you that has hope and potential opens up. Once they know they got that, then it becomes the devaluation, the slow devaluation of you. See, you can't have confidence. That's the first thing they work on. They can't. How can they have you have confidence in who you are? And they're trying to control you. See, confidence takes their control away. So they work on this methodically every day. They're going to try to find a way to diminish your confidence. Hey, what's up? Who's that? Oh, beginning. What's going on? Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. So yeah, they're going to work on your confidence and they're going to break you down. Okay. Now, when you get to the stage, this is the worst stage ever, where you're starting to realize that you can't fix this person. You're starting to see that there's something literally deeply wrong with this person. Okay. And hope and potential start to pull back a little bit. Now you're no longer useful. Now, okay, they got to go find some new supply. You're not doing the job anymore. And they intended on doing this anyway. So they do it one of two ways. They play in your face so much until they find a supply that they've actually trained. Oh, don't get it twisted. They've been playing with people behind your back during the whole relationship. Just a narcissist way. Okay? So they either feel that they have actually trained the new supply into being what they need, okay, or they make you break up with them. This is where it just goes to a whole new level. The house becomes like a nuclear Armageddon because you can't even breathe right these days. And they push you to the point, and this actually protects their mask. They push you to the point where you say, you know what, I've had enough. I'm not dealing with this anymore. There's something wrong with you. I'm not dealing with this anymore. Listen, go do what you want to do. This is called the reverse discard. See, you're walking out because you're tired of the BS, right? But see, this allows them to paint another narrative on the way out the door. Remember in the beginning where they were either the victim or the hero? They walk out the door like that. Okay? Because they're going to tell anybody that can listen how much they tried. How you were the toxic one. How you were the one manipulating them. How you were the one that was controlling. They're going to do all of that. What the hell is this puzzle? They're going to do all of that because it protects the mask. See, if they leave, all they have to say is, and again, this boggles the imagination. Their family, the flying monkeys, everybody that takes their side, never notice that every few years they do the same exact thing. The same exact thing. They come in with a new person. They introduce said new person. Tell everybody this is the one. I've been waiting all my life for this one. And then a few years later, they're saying, hey, that wasn't the one. Yeah, I don't know what happened. They started getting unstable. I think they had mental problems. I did everything within my power to actually, oh my God, I did everything to try to save them. And there was nothing I can do. 48 hours later, meet this person. This is the one. It's like a cycle. It's a cycle. And you played a role in that cycle. I can guarantee everyone that feels they're in a narcissistic dynamic, you might not have known it in the beginning, but you found out later, you were in an overlap. They were still with someone else while they were grooming you. I can guarantee it. And let me catch up with you. You can jump in, Narcissistic. I'm sorry, because you know I'm getting on my pedestal.
Well, I just want to say, when they do come, they're going to come after you. Just expect that, and they're going to say that you're mentally unstable.
Right.
They'll create circumstances. You could be the most controlled person, and they'll figure out how to get you so unhinged.
Yeah.
And then they'll capture that moment to broadcast it to everyone else. And way before, they've been building the smear campaign on you way before the discard even happened.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one thing I didn't realize.
A week after they met you.
Feelings for this guy, that I didn't realize that when I wasn't around, he was talking really bad-ish behind my back to his family and friends, you know, building up that narrative. And so when you finally get away from them, or they discard you or whatever, and they start the smear campaign, don't bother defending yourself. Don't make posts on defend yourself and talk about, because I'm telling you, it's a waste of such precious energy to even try and do that. And no one's going to listen to you. And the ones that love you and see that you're a sincere person, they're going to believe you to begin with.
Yep. Yep. It's like you said the other night. This is how you separate, the people that are really in your corner and the people that just need an excuse to go hard against you.
Yeah, it's like a sifting that happens in your friends and family and everything. Like those who are truly for you are always going to be for you.
Yes.
They won't turn away from you based on one person that comes in your life that starts smearing you online.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Again, people, I mean, narcissists, you know what? Let me be completely honest here. You get two things from narcissistic abuse. I mean, I wouldn't say that anybody should have to go through it to get this, but the first thing you get is you get an awareness of, you become hyper vigilant. You can see what people are plotting. You can, before people open their mouth. Thank you so much, Chloe. Before people open their mouth, you can kind of think of what they're thinking about. You can start figuring out if people are, in your corner or out of your corner. However, you need to actually tone that down. It's like spider sense just going crazy. Another thing that you actually get is you get to see who your real friends were. You get to see who was actually in your corner. And I'm not saying that they have to believe you, but anybody that takes the stories that the narcissist is spreading on face value, no proof whatsoever, just taking it on, hey, they standing on it, I'm going to stand on it, and then they go and spread these rumors again. They haven't proven it. It kind of tells you that these people were never in your corner. So there were a lot of people that actually I saw them for who they are. They don't say what's up to me. Yeah, whatever. Have a great day. No, I don't have time to talk. Because a lot of people see what's going on, and those are your true haters. They see exactly what's going on. But it makes them feel, because they have narcissistic tendencies themselves, it makes them feel superior to you. And a lot of people, I've actually had, clients, male and female, that have discussed this, narcissist, that was my friend. I thought that was my friend. Why would they do that to me? Well, again, they probably had narcissistic traits, and they think that they did one better than you. They took something that you like. So they sit back. You are the glue that holds them together. They're laughing about you. They're sitting down eating dinner saying, hey, you saw what he or she posted today? They're doing that. You're the glue that's holding two dysfunctional people together. So yeah, you have to begin to, make the choice for yourself. Make the choice for yourself. You deserve better. And like I tell everybody when I do these lives, the minute that question pops up in your head, do I deserve better? More than likely you do. I'm going to vote that you do. Because in a loving relationship, you would never ask yourself that. Never. Do I deserve better? That means that this person is putting you through mental gamuts and you just have no clue why. So that question is your first warning. So you've got to decide. Like I said, I got courses, I got one-on-ones, but the important thing is I have free resources. See, that's what's important. I have free resources. I have free resources that's going to help somebody get out of this, that's going to help somebody see through the fog. And I get it. Sometimes looking through the fog, it's not really cool. It's really bright. It really is. But you've got to be willing to take it in, because the only person that's going to be destroyed is you. Here, I'm going to let you up, Melissa.
Listen to that small inner voice, because the narcissist leaves you so defeated that you lose your esteem and your belief in yourself. You have to grasp onto whatever string or straw you have left inside of you that used to exist before they came to try and destroy you, and grab onto that with everything that you have and start there. That's the first step.
Yeah. Peace, Supreme. I'm sorry, man. I'm doing the other thing. I don't think it sends messages. What's up, Melissa? How you doing today?
I'd say for the time, been a long day. Yeah, I think my cousin's in a situation like that. I know about it. She's been with this man for years. They have like 6, 7 kids together, but they've lost the kids, and they had their last son, which they still have. And
so you're coming in super low. Are you in a safe space?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because you're coming in super low.
Super soft.
Yeah.
Is that better?
That is.
But, they got like 6, 7 kids together, and he works. And I noticed one moment there, and I'm like, wow, he doesn't even speak to anybody. Like he sits there and just watches TV or he'll play the game, but she treats him like a king, like that's her idol. She serves him, cooks for him, cleans for him, and he keeps quiet. He really mistreats her, and she's feeling for herself, but her and her child is just sad. And I know she won't take any advice or help, because I think she's not healed.
Right.
And she's had trauma from her childhood and everything. That's why she's idolizing him, regardless of how he treats her.
Right. Well, that's called the fog. And again, this is why I constantly, and this is why we're moving into the action phase of this. I would just give her an audiobook. It's free. I would suggest that. I mean, as Narcissistic always says, I would suggest go look at Professor Sam Backman. Go look at Dr. Romani. Wait, hold on a second. This is the thing that is pushing me to become more action based. Okay, is because I get it. We all have a story about this. We do. Okay, but there are so many of us who are not taking action. And just like we made excuses for the narcissist, we can't continue to make excuses for the people that we love. Now, I get it. You're their friend.
I agree.
No,
this is my cousin. I agree.
No, it's your cousin. So you're vested, and you love your cousin. So it comes a point to say, hey, listen, just do me a favor. Just promise me you'll read this book, or just promise me you'll watch this video. And then they can make their decision from there. We had a hard enough time saving ourselves from narcissistic abuse.
That's true.
That's why I salute people that live in this space, in this niche, to help other people get through this. But that's why I'm saying I don't want people to think that, okay, I'll do it next week. Okay, I'll do it next month. I'll just get through Christmas. It doesn't help.
Yeah, I can see that. Like, she's on here and she's like trying to be a content creator.
Okay.
So I know it's just excuses. Like you said, I'll do it next week. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it.
Right. So you're gonna have to stand in, okay, and let her make I guess a choice. Oh, thank you so much, coconut oil for Mom. Thank you.
Give the knowledge, pass it on. And whether they want to do it.
Right. Knowledge is that two-edged thing. It's like people can use it for good, or they can use it for harm. So yeah, I mean, and I don't want you to think I'm coming at you, but yeah, I think I saw.
I enjoy and.
Oh, thank you.
Well, I won't say I enjoy, but I appreciate constructive criticism. I'm not that type of person that if you come at me with the truth, I don't get offended.
I love that.
What can offend me is like you're coming with the truth, but you're trying to throw side jabs.
Oh no! I would never do that.
But you're not doing that.
Yeah, I'd never do that. I would never do that. No. But yeah, we've got to get out there, and I think I've been saying this the last few lives. We have to use what we know, because you're gatekeeping, and we, society looks at that as being a bad thing. You know, if you have facts or truth or knowledge that can help another person, why are you gatekeeping it? You know, and I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I'm saying that we've got to stop doing that. We've got to, you know, I go live. Sometimes they start ignoring me because I start dropping facts because I get tired. I get it. I went through the same damn thing. My heart was broken. Oh, well.
And see, I don't really talk to my cousin that much on the regular. Mm-hmm. But when I spoke to her mom, she just, like, certain things she said, because I was like, how's she doing? And when she said certain things, I automatically knew. I said, oh, yeah, he's this, and this. Yeah. And her mom was like, you're right. I can't even argue with you. You are right. And I'm like, yeah, this is what he's doing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right. Let me get this from Dina. Dina Mina says, hold on. I made videos about it and was told by his mom I should take them down. Well, you taking down your videos if they're the truth. Why? Why do they need for you to take it down? See, the truth is painful to people that live behind the mask. It's painful. You know, as long as you're not putting their name in it, which I always stand by. Yeah, as long as you're not putting their name in it, you're not, you know, saying things like they have a tattoo on their left ankle and it says this. You know, you're kind of good if you're telling your truth, and this is the problem. You know, when we're looking at these dysfunctional family units, they don't want the truth out. Hold on one second. Let me let Narcissist back in. They don't want the truth out, you know, because when we look at it, we soon find out that these people have been protecting the narcissist. So if they've been protecting the narcissist, they know what the narcissist has been doing, and they have a mask that they need to protect as well. So it's easier to go along with the tomfoolery that the narcissist is doing, go out in public, make people think, hey, everything is okay. Everything is okay. We're that family. You know, so yeah, you're getting, I don't care. I don't care any of my narcissists ever told me I need to take that down. I don't care. Go ahead and report me. Because when I signed up for this platform, they didn't ask for your information. They asked for mine.
To take it down. Yeah. Yeah. I agree. Mm. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said, but you said when they said, you said none of yours said that you need to take that down. I was just trying to understand this. That's what I heard you say.
Yeah, because what happens is, you know, the narcissist themselves, you have to tell your truth. How you do it, I don't care. If you get a dummy account, they're watching you from a dummy account anyway. You know, and maybe you should just block everybody. Yeah, you know, just to be completely honest, just block them all. We talked about this the other night. Just block them all. You know, because they serve no purpose in your life except to bring stress. So block them. I don't care.
And some people are so controlled by everything that the person has put them through that they commit suicide.
Yeah, you can't say that word. You know, you can't say that word.
Sorry.
Yeah.
They carry that spirit. I'm telling you, they carry that spirit. And I had that feeling, that same feeling when he left. And I've told people that since, like, they carry that spirit. And I think a lot of people end up losing to it. It's very, very sad.
Yeah.
That happened to a lady a few years ago. It was a pastor. And it was really sad what happened, how far she was just trying to get away from him and what he did. He groomed her from a young age.
Yeah.
Oh my, it was terrible.
But that's what, you know what, and Narcissistic actually talks about this all the time. There are agencies. You are not alone. You don't have to live your life on these lives trying to get information where just because you're not suffering through domestic V, meaning the V, doesn't mean that there's not help out there for you. Like I said, in most of their charters, the world is starting to understand that sometimes mental abuse is just as bad as the DV side. So you need to start reaching out to these people, you know, and I like you all here in my lives. I love it. But here's the deal. If you can call 988 nationwide crisis line, they can actually plug you into people in your area that can help you. I'd rather you not be on the line. because you're making a choice for yourself. And that's what I need everybody to do. Make the choice. See, I don't care if your phone got service or not. You can call 988 and you must have service if you're here. But yeah, just take care of you. Take one step towards taking care of you. You have been putting your left and right foot forward for this person that never appreciated it, never planned on returning it. Okay, and they were playing games with your heart. So why can't you take 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes to go sit in your car, go to the coffee shop, and dial 988 and just tell somebody, this is my problem. I need help. Why can't you? See, this is where we become action orientated, and I agree with you. I should have did. I'm not trying to say I'm above this. I went through it. That's why I know it's so important to take action, because if you don't take action, guess where you stay stuck? It's like falling into a pit of quicksand and just standing there, thinking that, well, there's got to be a rock down here, someplace that I can stand on.
No.
A lot of these nonprofits are very important for people to understand and know about, especially when you feel like you're trapped in the narcissistic dynamic. They're aware of narcissism. These DV nonprofits are not just for people who are getting, physically harmed. It's emotional as well, and they will believe you. It's a matter of what are you willing to do to be free of it, because they have all of the resources. They have the attorneys. They have the shelters that will feed you and house you and your children until you get back on your feet. They have the educational classes. They have the wardrobes. They have anything you possibly could need. I've lived in halfway houses. I've done whatever it takes at points and times in my life to get my life back. You have to be willing to do that, It's not easy, but you'll be all the stronger for it.
Yes.
But what's the first thing you got to do, ladies?
You said it's 998?
988. Yeah. Well, what's the first thing that you have to do, Narcissistic and Militia?
Choose yourself. Choose peace over chaos. Radical acceptance.
Yeah. Yes. At some point, and Dina said she got some crazy stories. We all do. Dina, thank you, but I think we can. Now I see why creators in this niche stay on for 4 to 8 hours. I do, because the stories that we can tell about our abusers, and yes, Dina put it right there. There it goes. Everybody read that. God has more for my story. Think about that for a second.
Yes, he does.
Think about that. You weren't meant. Nobody on this realm was put here to suffer, especially empaths. We go through this sometimes just so that we could actually patch up the rough spots inside of us. You as a person, as an empath, you probably got something in you that your higher power has just been sitting there saying, are they going to figure this out yet? The world ain't going to change until I get them back on their feet. You could be that person, but the more that you sit up there and pine over someone who's very intent, and you know this by now, their very intent was to hurt you. You know this. So it's time that you start patching up those little things. You start dealing with the reason why, because there was a reason why. Okay? Go back to your childhood. Stop worrying about what created the narcissist. They created the narcissist themselves because they made the same choice that empaths make. There's a choice there. You either become a narcissist and feel like you are entitled to hurt everybody because you were hurt, or you decide that, you know what, I really don't want anybody to go through this. That's literally how narcissists and empaths are made. There's trauma. Everybody in here that considers themselves to be an empath, you can look back I guarantee you there's some trauma there. There was something that hurt you so bad that you couldn't figure out, that you could not understand. So, yeah, maybe it's time you choose you. 988.
That's what I'm sitting here trying to figure out is what were they giving us? What were they really giving us?
They never gave us anything. They never gave us anything. All they did.
What made us feel like we need them so bad?
Because we're flip sides of the coin. You know?
Benefit of the doubt.
No, we're literally the flip sides of the coin. This is why they're attracted to us, because we are the complete polar opposite of what they are. And they feel a need to destroy us to fill the emptiness, aka the shame inside of them. So yeah, we go look at Carl Jung. You know, this is why so many creators are really starting to understand the empath side of it. You know, a lot of creators are now using that word because they're starting to understand that, well, wait a second. I remember the time when my mother, my father, my caretaker did this to me, and this made me feel a certain way. And yeah, I kind of buried that shame down, but I don't want to hurt anybody.
And you have to, like you said, their demons. You have to realize when you're dealing with their demons versus them.
Thank you. And thank you, Dina Mina. I lived this stuff, and this was part of my healing journey, believe it or not. And I am ordained. I have a nonprofit in Jersey, Church of Real Talk. And for some strange reason, as I started immersing myself to forget, I started to realize that somebody else needs to hear this. Again, the empath just kicked in. You know, oh, thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. You know. So yeah, and now in the action mode, I'm trying to rally people. Now, she's not here, but Narcissistic does this thing. In fact, I'm going to put it up as one of the resources on my website. She does this thing called Somatic Saturdays, where she helps
Narc Talks.
Yeah, did I say Narc Talks?
No, you said Narcissistic.
You're not doing this Narcissistic, okay? It's not you. It's Narc Talks. No, I'm just playing. But yeah, she's doing this great thing, and I'm going to put it up on my website as a resource because I think more people need to find ways to write. We're all in different stages of this issue. We're in so many different stages, you know, and maybe what I'm saying might be too blunt for somebody right now. Maybe what she's doing might not be enough for some people. Well, I think it kind of does a lot. But anywho, you know, sometimes we have to get in where we fit in, but we can't get in until we make the choice to get started. Does that make sense, people?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I'm here like every day. I ain't got no life. Thank you, though. I do have a life. I think I have the best life ever. This is what I really want to do. This actually makes me feel. The Church of Real Talk, when it first started, it was based on empaths and chosen ones, and I was trying to explain to people that, you know, I didn't adhere to the 144K, you know, chosen individuals. So I said that everybody has a purpose. Everybody has a reason why they're here. I don't think our higher power universe, whatever you believe in, would just put us here with no goal in mind. And then when I went through this, and I, again, you know, no support in it, always throwing darts at it, trying to break my confidence from doing it, but it soon changed into this. And I really feel like I have a purpose. I do. If I can reach one people out of the 10 people on this live, I've done something good. I get to rest at night. I get to feel better about myself. And then I want to go harder. I have a book that's being released June 1st. And then the paperback comes out June 2nd. How to Break the Trauma Bond in 7 Steps, where I go into depth about the course. That felt good. that felt really good. You know, I was like the little kid in the Breakfast Club. I was like, yeah, you're gonna help somebody else. So yeah, and I want more people to have that attitude. You know, yeah.
We're growing
Thank
every
you.
day. I love it. I love
Yeah,
this community. It's amazing. It's powerful.
yeah. I love you guys who come in here. I mean, we see if we're coming out of it, we actually see people that are in it. Like I said, I could be in the supermarket and air hustling. I'm like, damn, that's a narcissist right there. You know, we can sense it, but we have those that are close to us. We have like really cool co-workers. We even have family members that we kind of see that something is off. You know. Oh, thank you, Dina Mina. We kind of feel that something is off. Have a conversation. Everything begins with a conversation, believe it or not. Everything. You know, and if you've come out of it, you know that you've got to approach it with kids' hands, you know, because it's like Stockholm syndrome. We'll protect our abuser until the bitter end, until we realize that, oh wow, that is my abuser. You know. So yeah. So what do you guys have to say? What you got, Narcissist?
I'm excited. Dina said that you were on the FYP tonight for her. That's really good news. That means that they're pushing the
Thank
vibe out.
you. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's what we need to happen going forward.
Yeah. I think everybody that's supposed to be here is here for some universe. You know.
To warn other people, because when it's like when I first came into my faith, I got misled by so many different directions. It's kind of the same way with my narcissistic recovery. These lives that are being run on TikTok that have, you know, several hundred people in them, through sponsored content creators who are narcissists themselves, and they're taking advantage of the victims of narcissistic abuse and then charging $250 an hour for their services.
Get out of here!
Or they're selling their book or whatever it is. Yeah, you're one of the real ones. That's the deal. They don't let people up on panels. It's a one man or woman show. I've only seen it's mostly men. I haven't seen a woman do it yet, but that doesn't mean they're not out there doing it. It's just like I remember when I first started on TikTok and into like the narcissistic abuse algorithm, that they push those lives out to you and you listen to them because you're so desperate for help. And I feel like they're just taking advantage. Well, this guy here, you know, Minister is a real, true, genuine person, and his content is awesome, and he has a lot of free services to help people. We're truly here to help and support, and that's all it is. You know, we're not trying to get anything out of anyone. That's one thing I just want to point out.
Yeah, the free stuff is that's why I always put it at the top of the blueprint in my bio, because I don't want people to think that, you know, I do have a nonprofit that I have to run. So yes, it's not going to sustain itself, but at the same time, I want to give people options. You know, I want people to understand that, you know, they're not in this alone. Before I jump into my little rant. There is something important that I need to talk about, and I wrote it down. Hold on one second. Okay, so this is what healing looks like. Okay, structured support improves recovery outcomes. So what Nog Talks is doing, the somatic stuff, and I'll probably put a link into the thing on my bio once I build the page on the website. Saturdays it's Zoom, it's not like here, and you can talk. You know, you can talk with people that get it, you know, that are not judging you, that are not probably a flying monkey. So that's a good thing. You know, another thing is guided intervention supports long-term no contact success. I talk about this a lot. No contact is very, very important. Okay, I don't think people realize how important it is, and I get it too that if have kids, a business, property, or stuff like that, that no is called controlled access. Basically gray rocking, but getting the information out there, especially if courts are involved and stuff like that, you need to not ignore them. That'll turn out bad for you. But yeah, you need a guided way to get through this stuff. That's why I offer this stuff. You need something that's guided, that's going to keep you on track. Okay? No contact is a lot to deal with. It really is. How do you respond if they text you? What if they press a button and say something that's, very mean and evil? What are you going to do? So, that's a skill that you have to learn along the way, because you want revenge. So anytime they say something off topic, you're like, oh, okay, that's how we're playing that today. Okay, let me give you a piece of my mind. All you're doing is giving them supply, so don't do it. Yeah, seriously. So another thing is, and this comes from Tony Robbins. Clarity reduces anxiety. I couldn't have said that better. You probably feel anxious right now if you just got out the fog. You don't know which end is up. You don't know what you're going to do. And that's why I tell people to call 988. You don't know what you're going to do. So, yeah, you need clarity. I think I got mine from just going online, looking at everybody. Again, I think I was meant to do this because I wasn't even in this niche, and We Told Me just popped up. And it's TikTok just kept on feeding me the videos. So, and it gave me a clear understanding, and then I wasn't that anxious, because we panic. There's the person that we love. They're a freaking demon. The hell am I going to do now? I done wasted all these years with this person. What am I going to do now? So I get it. But that's anxiety. That's your nervous system saying, well, we can't let go of them now. I'm kind of hooked. Listen, can we just wait around for the next episode of Love Bombing? Okay, I know they treat me like crap right now, but I can wait it out a few more days. And you want to laugh. Is it true though?
It is so true. You just keep convincing yourself that they're going to change or go back to the version that they were when you met
them. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But I want to thank you guys. I'm going to put this up one more time. Again, like I said, the blueprint is in my bio, and there is a lot of free stuff up there. I spent months creating free stuff. I think if you listen to anything, if you feel you're an empath and you don't fully understand what that means, I have an audio book, The Empath Survival Guide. And it helps you. I use some stories from what I went through, I guess, to highlight what's going on. But as an empath, you're always going to be a target. And until you heal, they will definitely seek you out. They will definitely. You will run into you will find out people are narcissists. You'll just find yourself in the same cycle over and over again. And it's something inside of you. Okay, I'm not going to say it's broken, but it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. If you're a serial narcissist harborer, I guess that's the only way to put it. That's the reason why. That's what I had to find out.
We have to learn to stand on our own.
Yeah. Coco, thank you for joining. I appreciate you.
Ultimately, you are in charge of your own recovery. This is just me wrapping up. And building your own program. So like every week I've got, this is part of my recovery at 2 and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I have therapy. I'm in therapy for the first time in my life. I go every Thursday morning at 8 on Zoom.
Good for you.
I make myself go to the gym every 2 days and then I take a day off. Okay. I make myself, meal prep and eat clean foods, and I make myself go to work, and I'm doing all of these things someday by total force. Other days I'm totally kicking ass all on my own. Yeah. And they all accumulate and add to your inner strength. Yeah. And you learn to love yourself even more every single day. Yeah. You are your own recovery, your own freedom, your own everything has to come from within you. And just invest in yourself. Choose yourself. That's the best advice that I can give you.
Yes.
And have a really good support network. And we are a good support network here. It's a real blessing to have these people on TikTok.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is awesome. I love that. Thank you so much. Yeah, start feeding into yourself, people. Really, I need you guys to feed into yourself, because it just, like I said, I don't want to be Dan Downer, but until you make the conscious decision that you deserve to be free, that you deserve to live the best version of your life, it's just going to keep on. The narcissist doesn't change. They want you. They want you to keep trying. They want you to try to fix something that's broken. They want you to salvage the relationship. Last bit of advice. How much are they trying to save the relationship? You ever think about that? I guess that's a good note to end on. With that being said, I want you guys to stay powerful. I want you guys to keep healing. And you know what? The reason why I do everything that I do, love you guys. Have a good night. See you guys tomorrow.
Good night, guys.
Good night.